Good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video. Tonight we are going to continue reading The Empath's Survival Guide by Judith Orloff, MD. I am getting ready for bed, so normally that's the time of the day that I read, so I'm going to pop this open and we're going to read it along together as we have been every night. I think this is either my 13th or 14th video on this book. So we just finished chapter 4, which was all about the empath's love and sex, and we are moving on tonight to chapter 5. This is titled Protecting Yourself from Narcissists and Other Energy Vampires. I think this one will be something that every empath can relate to, because we may not always be in a relationship and that advice is helpful, but in our lives every day, no matter where we go, no matter who we are, we will encounter or have or currently encounter narcissists and energy vampires, no matter where you're at. All right, so let's just jump right in. Energy vampires are attracted to the openness and loving hearts of empaths. Sensitive people need to be prepared for them. I've found that some relationships are positive and energizing for my empath patients, but others are draining. In fact, certain people can suck the positivity and peacefulness right out of you. I call these drainers energy vampires. At work, at home, or anywhere in your life, energy vampires drain your physical and emotional energy. The super toxic ones can make you believe that you're flawed and unlovable. You may tiptoe around them for fear of an explosion. Some attack with put-downs, blame, or shame. They may say, "Dear, you're looking really tired and old today," or "You're too sensitive." Suddenly, you feel as if something is wrong with you. An essential action step in the Empath Survival Guide is to identify the energy vampires in your life and develop strategies to effectively deal with them. Doing so will make a tremendous difference in the quality of your relationships and prevent you from being sapped by them. Don't let energy vampires take you by surprise. Create a plan. Try not to take their barbs personally, even when they are intentional. The effort to do this, though often strenuous, is necessary to take back your power and protect your sensitivities. Remember, these drainers are motivated by fear and insecurity. They annoy and deplete many people, not just you. So, a self-assessment. How do you know if you've met an energy vampire? Here are some signs to watch for. You feel tired and want to go to sleep. You're suddenly in a terrible mood. You feel sick. You don't feel seen or heard. You reach for sugar or carbohydrates for a boost. You start doubting yourself and becoming self-critical. You become anxious, angry, or negative when you didn't feel that way before. You feel shamed, controlled, or judged. Sometimes you might attract a specific type of energy vampire because of the mutual emotional issues you both need to heal. So you enter into an unhealthy wound mate relationship where you keep repeating the wounding process with each other. There's an odd psychological comfort to this because it's what you both know, what you're used to. You become attached to a toxic person and can't let go. This keeps you stuck in a painful cycle. For instance, your low self-esteem attracts people who criticize you, and the criticizer attracts people they can belittle. Be careful not to perpetuate wound-mate relationships. Instead, let these people, whether they are friends, coworkers, spouses, or whomever, spur you to develop self-awareness and heal the initial wound. Then you can grow out of these relationships and find more fulfilling ones. My eyelashes look uneven in this light. It always does. I'm sure it probably bothers you. It bothers me. The 7 types of energy vampires. Here's what we're going to learn, the 7 different types. In over 20 years in my medical practice, I have identified 7 main types of energy vampires to watch out for, who are particularly dangerous for empaths. Number 1, the narcissist. Of all the vampires, narcissists can be the most destructive to empaths. I'm referring to full-blown narcissists, not simply people with a few narcissistic traits who may have more empathy. Let me explain. Narcissists act as if the world revolves around them. They have an inflated sense of importance and entitlement. They need to be the center of attention and require endless praise. You must compliment them to get their approval. They can also be extremely intuitive, but they use their intuition to manipulate and achieve their goals. They can do much damage to empaths because they have little or no capacity for unconditional love. If you don't do the things their way, or if you disagree with them, they become ice cold and punishing, withhold love, or give you the silent treatment, which can last days or weeks. Scientific research on narcissists, as well as sociopaths and psychopaths, has shown that they have an empathy deficient disorder. Full-blown narcissists use what seems like empathy to get what they want when you begin to distance yourself, but their empathy is not reliable or real. Narcissists are persuasive charmers who know exactly what to say to emotionally seduce you. If you try to leave, they will sweet-talk you to get you back, but their empathy will last only as long as they need it to. There are always strings attached to the favors they bestow. Once you've returned, they'll revert to being self-absorbed again. Why is there such a fatal attraction between empaths and narcissists? I've seen this destructive dynamic with numerous patients. Empaths must let the seriousness of getting involved with a narcissist sink in and understand what traits they keep being attracted to. Empaths get caught up in the narcissist's charisma and the promise of love and connection. Narcissists may appear to have so much to give, but they don't. The confusing part is that on the surface they can be smart, funny, thoughtful, and generous, but they can't maintain that front in an intimate relationship. Empaths are targets for narcissists. Why? Because empaths are sensitive, attentive, innocent, or even gullible, and are easy to drain because they lack the usual defenses most people have. It's hard for empaths to believe that narcissists don't possess a capacity for empathy because that's how we're wired, how we perceive the world. Empaths are compassionate and expect others to be the same, so they make the mistake of trying to win over a narcissist with love. I'm sorry to say that won't work. It's like expecting someone without a heart to know how to love. A big problem with getting involved with a narcissist is that it's hard to leave the relationship. I've seen it take decades for some people. One empath workshop participant told me, "I was married to a narcissist for 10 years. It felt as if pieces of my soul were killed off a little bit at a time in the relationship. When I finally left, it practically destroyed me." She is not overstating this. Narcissists can make empaths feel physically ill and depressed. They can beat down self-esteem until empaths no longer believe in themselves. Narcissists don't make much progress in psychotherapy because they always blame the other person and they have no accountability for their part in a conflict. Narcissists sometimes use a harmful technique called gaslighting, which distorts another's perception of reality by intentionally setting up crazy-making situations and then questioning the person's sanity for reacting to the craziness. They also rewrite the past or deny an event even took place, dismissing the other person's concerns as unfounded. The sad part is that many of their victims believe them. So here is a protection strategy. Protect yourself from narcissists. Lower your expectations of the narcissist's emotional capabilities. Don't let yourself be manipulated. Don't expect a narcissist to respect your sensitivities. They are extremely cold people. Don't fall in love with a narcissist. Run in the opposite direction no matter how attracted you feel. Try to avoid working with a narcissistic boss, but if you can't leave, don't let your self-esteem depend on your boss's reaction. I kind of have a thing with that word and blaming other people for your self-esteem because I feel like it's called self-esteem, self-love, self-care, self-loathing. All of these things comes from yourself. It's not anyone else's job, though it's not realistic just yet with human nature to say that people are ready to not allow other people's words and actions to affect their self-esteem. So I'm working on that. So this is not so much of a strategy, it sounds like. This is more of like tips to protect yourself. So I guess you could call that a multitude of strategies. All right, stroke the narcissist's ego. Frame your request in terms of how it can benefit them. This is the only way you will get through to a narcissist. For instance, if you want to take a few days off to attend a work-related conference, tell your boss something like, "This will help me make your business more successful," rather than, "I need a break from the office." To successfully communicate and get the results you desire, show how your request will be to the narcissist's advantage. And also making it seem like it's their idea is also another good way of handling a narcissist. Stop all contact when you can. To end a relationship with a narcissist or anyone with whom you want a complete break, go cold turkey. Keep moving and never look back. In addition, use these strategies. So this is, I guess, if you're going to break away, these strategies that I'm going to read. Practice a cord-cutting visualization. In a calm state, picture cords of light connecting both of you and the person. Inwardly say thank you for what you've learned from the relationship, even if the lessons were hard. Then firmly assert, it's time to completely break our bonds. Next, visualize taking a pair of scissors and cutting each bond completely so that you're free of any energetic ties. This visualization will help you release the relationship and also remove lingering energy that you feel from the person. Have honorable closure. This shamanic technique lets you release a relationship, particularly if you keep thinking about the person or sense that they're thinking about you. Go out into nature and find a large stick. Look at the stick and declare, "This relationship is over." Then break the stick in half. Leave the pieces on the ground, walk away, and never look back. This finalizes the ceremony of closure. All right, so the second type of narcissist is the rageaholic, or not narcissist, this second type of energy vampire, sorry. Number one was the narcissist. Number two, the rageaholic. This energy vampire deals with conflict by accusing, attacking, and controlling. Rageaholics often yell to make a point, and as I noted in Chapter 4, empaths can't tolerate yelling. We actually feel physical pain when we're around yelling. Rageaholics usually behave most poorly around their loved ones. They say horrible things that they may regret later, such as, "You're a bad wife," or "I'm not attracted to you anymore." Such comments can tear through an empath's vulnerable heart. Rageaholics traumatize empaths by beating down their positivity and self-worth. Empaths often experience sensory overload around yelling, arguments, loud noises, and loud personalities. That's why I don't allow any anger to be dumped in my vicinity. I was once waiting for a friend to finish a phone conversation. She became agitated and started yelling at the person she was talking to. It felt like toxic energy was being deposited on me, and I suffered from the fallout of her anger. Later, I told her, "Look, I'm an empath. Your anger affects me and I feel drained. Please don't do that again." Thankfully, she heard me and never repeated that behavior. I've actually left a lunch with friends when a man there got enraged with his spouse. His rage hurt me. In situations like that, I am fierce about protecting my energy, so I said to my friends, "Please excuse me, I'm feeling tired," and politely left. It was awkward, but I chose my well-being over social correctness and sticking it out. I love that. So many of us we would rather be socially correct or, have proper etiquette than doing what's really best for our well-being because we're worried about how we'll be perceived or what the people will say. And I think that for everybody, that should be something that we work on, is more protective of our own selves, you know, the way we would protect somebody we love, our children, our spouse, protect our own selves like that, because, you know, we're just as important. An empath patient described his response to arguments to me. I was having dinner at my girlfriend's house. Her family started screaming at one another at the table. I was horrified. She said, "Oh, this is just how we talk to each other. It's normal." I was exhausted and I didn't know how to cope. Of course, many empaths would feel the same way. We need to recover from angry outbursts. Afterward, it's important to allow some quiet time to lower the stimulation level and then convey our needs to our loved ones. When setting limits with a rageaholic, empaths must know the difference between venting and dumping. There are healthy ways to express anger, such as venting, which an empath can handle. There are also toxic ways to do so, such as dumping, which can traumatize empaths. For instance, if your spouse wants to express anger with you, ask them to make a request first by saying something like, "I have a request. I need to vent about an issue. Is that okay to do it now?" This approach gives an empath some warning so that we're not hijacked. Then it's your choice to discuss the issue right away or later, after you've had adequate time to feel centered and prepared. Here are some guidelines for communicating anger, whether expressing your own feelings or listening to another's. Use these guidelines and share them with loved ones. So the first one, know the difference between venting and dumping. So venting feels healthy and is time limited. When venting, stick to one topic. Don't keep repeating the same point. Don't blame. Don't fall into victim mode. Be accountable for your own part and stay open to solutions. So dumping feels toxic and goes on and on. Someone who is dumping overwhelms another with many issues, keeps repeating the same point, blames others, plays the victim, shows no accountability for their part in a matter, and is not open to solutions. They maybe just want to hear themselves. I don't know. In addition, you can use the following basic ground rules for expressing anger, making everyone feel safer and more protected. They are effective with rageaholics. So here is your protection strategy for rageaholics. Let the rageaholic know you hear them. Then suggest that the issue be worked out respectfully after they calm down. Say something like, "I want to help you, but it's hard for me to listen when you're in this state." Refuse to engage with their anger. Set a no yelling rule with loved ones. At the very least, it's not allowed around you. There are other ways to resolve conflicts without yelling. Stay calm. Do not yell back when triggered. Reacting impulsively will just drain you and aggravate the situation. Pause when agitated. Count to 10. Take a time out to quiet the fight or flight response. Wait until you're calm before you respond to someone's anger. Otherwise, the angry person may dump more of it on you. Practice restraint with your speech in all its forms, including texting, emails, and phone. Then you'll be in charge of your emotions when you choose to address the person. Practice restraint with what you say. Gonna drive that home. Visualize yourself as an open window with air freely flowing through it. Similarly, let someone's anger pass through the open window so it doesn't get stuck on you. And the last, leave the room or ask the person to leave if they won't stop yelling. Okay, so we're going to stop right there because some of these are a little bit longer. The next video, we will go over the next, I believe it's 7 different types of energy vampires, along with, of course, some strategies and some tips on how to handle each one. So we will take a break for now, and I will see you for the rest of this chapter on my next video. Have a wonderful morning, day, or night. And if you like these videos, if you do find them helpful, please like, please subscribe. That would help me out so much. My main goal in this community is just to help people in any way that I can, even if I reach, whether it's one person or 1,000,000 people, one person is really all that it takes in this world just to make a positive impact with somebody. And if these and any future books that I will be definitely reading on here help you, that makes my heart very happy. So until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.